What is freedom? How do we define freedom? Why does it seem to be a crime when you try to express yourself as being free? Why is it that the common folk look at you as if you're crazy only because you choose not to act as they would? You choose not to view things as they would. Why does it seem like you stand out in a crowd? Why does it seem like you're shouting when in fact you're really whispering? So many questions, so little clear answers. I mean, why is it when you're not a criminal, you're presumed or assumed or treated as such, as if you're a criminal, when you have broken no laws? Why is that? Were we as a people born to be slaves? I'm looking at just climate change. When we say climate change, it not necessarily mean, oh, it's the weather. It's sunny now because it was raining, or it was a winter storm and now it's gone. No. When we say climate change, we really talk about our immediate environment, like on the international stage, that political affair that's going on with these so-called different political parties. Locally, it's not much difference. Crime, crime is the new, you gotta say, fad. If you're not a criminal, you're not popular. If you're not talking about criminality or crime, you're not popular. You're not being heard. It's a tragedy when we see the society has degenerated to the point where common criminals actually are going inside a church to commit their callous act of criminality. Yeah, man, we're at a place now where to say it's ugly would be an understatement. So when I am here talking about my little personal experience with the foreign system, that's just my little personal thing. It's like a drop in the bucket compared to what other people are actually experiencing. The way a platform show where Jamaica is number one, what I would say murder capital. Yeah, I guess it depends on the amount of people I'm account, but there's nothing to brag about. But it's not surprising. It's really not surprising. Why? Again, people like to look at, oh, the effect, oh, this is what's happening now, this is what's happening now, this is what's happening today. How did we get to this point? What is the cause of all of this? How come our society has degenerated to a point where they can look and say if a body in our probably governmental system is corrupt? And I would beg to differ. It is impossible that everybody is spoiling there. You have to have quite a few good, honest, hard-working people there. The system that is now governing the people is just that. It's a system. It's more like a machinery. It have structures in place for benefit itself. That system is non-human. It's not a flesh and blood thing like man and woman. This battle is a battle of good against what is not good. And this battle is a battle of principalities, of let's say powers that choose to manipulate, that choose to oppress through subtlety. And the oppressed are being oppressed by their own consent. Now that is the tragedy. The oppressed are being oppressed by their own consent only because they lack the correct, let us say, comprehension on how to at least do business or do contract, because it is all about contract. That is my point of view. I'm of the view that if there is any governmental entity or body politic assuming or presuming to govern me, first, as I have done with that court clerk, I demand to see that authority, because I have not delegated my authority to no body politics, to no government entity. I have placed document on the public record. And all of those documents that's placed, you'll see on top of the document, certified copy to the office of the Templar Church, the Crown. the office of the Governor General, Commonwealth of Jamaica, to the office of the Secretary of State, United States of America. This is how I communicate as a way called a man. And I have acknowledged and accept that birth registration form and assume the role of executor for the first, middle, and last name estate. It's not just the family name, that's a whole different trust. House of Dallas is separate and distinct from Linton O'Neill Dallas, which is separate and distinct from Linton-O'Neill, which is still separate and distinct from Awa. And all those are just my entities. I go by those titles. Nestorian King, those are titles I go by. I am much more than a name. I am the living soul, manifest, known as man. And according to my ancestral spirit that animate me, I choose to govern myself. I give notice to the public. I am not a ward of no state, no entity that's foreign to me. When we are here via YouTube public, we're not here trying to garner publicity. We're not here trying to embarrass the government of Jamaica, corporate United States of America. We're not here to embarrass our elected public officials or appointed public servants. We're not here to embarrass anyone. I personally am just here to publish the little knowledge that I have so guys can do their own research. And again, public notice, you can't say you didn't get it. You know what I mean? So we're not here trying to be rowdy and say, hey, we want to overthrow government, or it's nothing like that. It's more, we want to be left alone. If we are not breaking any laws, committing any crimes, then it's natural that there's recourse for people like us who choose not to participate in a slave capacity. Now we're being specific. Not saying, hey, we won't participate, but not in a slave capacity where we're bound to certain agreements that is adhesive, that we did not willfully, with full disclosure or closure, agree or contract It's done through deceptive means, and that make it fraud. And fraud vitiate all things. So we are not here to even quote this law or that law or saying we are this or that. We're just saying, hey, in nature there's what is right and there's what is wrong. And if we can ascertain the difference, then that truth shall be, the ultimate, the truth. So if I'm wrong, then let the truth stand. And if I'm right or correct, then let that truth stand. And I am no slave. I am no ward of the state. And the government of Jamaica is in the process of probably paying me via their employees, because notice to agent is notice to principal. And so as the agent make a mess, the principal is not immune. You're not immune. When I say I place documents on the public record notifying certain offices, the highest office right here for their corporate construct is the Governor General's office. That's the highest office right here. And that office gets its authority from the Crown. And you see where I have addressed that Crown. And I have made a claim as Nestorian king, specifically for that capacity. But there's no king here on the island. There's none that proclaim themselves on the public record that way. I'm the only one. However, it's neither here or there. We're just here to say we are free people. Yeah, man. And we can choose to delegate our authority, or we can choose not to delegate our authority. And if people use our name or a financial instrument without our written consent, it's called theft. Yeah, man, in law, it's called fraud. And there's no statute of limitation on the fraud that you do. There's no corporate construct of jurisdiction over I as man, nor over my lawful entity, nor over my legal entities. Yeah, man, I control all those things, just like how I control this thought of mine. I'm a free man. This is why I talk this way. However, we still have to try to be responsible. So we're not going to just run out there and act silly. It's not about that. It's about what is right, man, and what is not. No man have a right to take a man things arbitrarily and cuff a man on the roadside for over an hour, basically, until wrecker come. You just take a man automobile, you know what I mean, and run with a man as if, hey, because you have a big gun on your side, you can't do that. These things are inappropriate. You can't do that. Everybody is a slave, brethren. Everybody is not a ward of the state, people. There's two sides to the coin, people. What you're seeing and how you're living is just one aspect of it. And that's a choice. You can choose to live that way. Nothing is wrong with it. That's your choice. I choose not to live that way. Under no circumstance do I need to put a registration on my vehicle, on my automobile, anything I want to call it. It's my property. Under no circumstance I should be paying any kind of insurance. Linton owe dollars. I have a national insurance card which represent some kind of insurance account. That should suffice. I'm not one of your slaves. When you're telling me to go buy insurance from a foreign corporation, then you solicit me and coerce me to engage in your fraudulent activity. That's exactly what you're doing. Now I've placed a fee schedule in your court where when you look at that fee schedule, I'm quite sure you're supposed to have a good laugh at that fee schedule, Mr. Court Clerk. Yeah, man, you know yourself. You're all public servants, man. So when I call your name James, you know you are the one I'm talking about. I've gave you enough documents for you to look and say, you know, this money are onto something. Let's try to take this thing, you know, on a much more discreet level and see how we can facilitate this thing so this man can go about his business freely. And we continue to fleece the slave like you always do. Because I guarantee you this, the court clerk, that birth certificate account where you think you can access, you'll be doing that illegally, you'll be doing that fraudulently. You know what I mean? And you shall go to prison, trust me. Because if I was that criminal, I'm quite sure you guys would have put me under some jail a long time ago. So I'm not about that. I'm about what is correct, what is lawful. Nothing is wrong when you lose this case. This is a case you can't win. You're not even originally from this place. Your ancestral lineage is somewhere in Hindustan. You know what I mean? You're not a Wak Indian. You are a part of the usurpation that came here to our land. I bet you're related to the Hindus that are in Trinidad. I guarantee you're probably related to that R.M. Edwards. You notice I have no problem calling some of your names, especially when you're dishonorable. You probably come across one honorable RM, and that is the Honorable CM, even though he's a club member. So you know him have to play ball with y'all. But just in natural spirit, you know what I mean? When him know say, yo, I wanna weigh this. Probably if him did have access to this information and he have, he wouldn't have sit down on a bar like you guys. Him not look like a man with licky and like he would have sat out in a big house and big car. Yeah man. Yeah man. Brethren. Yeah man. Mr. CM, Mr. Maxwell. Respect the energy where you carry. Yeah man, even though you're a bar member. And I know you're an attorney. And no attorney not supposed to be sitting in a judge seat judicially. But again, you'll say, hey, this is traffic court, it don't have nothing to do with justice. And then the people them will say, what? So what it is all about? It's about money. Yeah man. But now you gotta realize that boy, what you call money and what me call money, two different things. Your money a book data entry. You know what I mean? Market value. My money a gold or silver. Yeah man. Par value. Those things are in writing and it's on the public record. It's documented fact, certified copy, highest evidence form. So I have created what is known as public record precedents. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a little bit, unorthodox. Because I'm not following any script. I tell you. A simple folk, my people build me. So my people may I work for. Right now we have a fee schedule on the record we represent our Indian nation. Every member that have a seal, that fee schedule represent all y'all, all members. And the article of association that is being put together. That's where all of us as members, we pledge our allegiance to each other. You know what I mean? And that's just our little society. Yeah, man. Free people. Choose to be free. And you would call it international because we have members all over the place. Virgin Island, British Virgin Island, American Virgin Island. You know what I mean? St. Kitts. We have people all over in Britain. On the mainland, all over the mainland. All of these people are what? Their point of origin is here in America. Awak, Indian. That's what the colonizers call us first. They said they couldn't pronounce Awak. So they said they break it down and call us Arawak. So we give them back that Arawak. Nothing is wrong with you calling yourself anything. You have a right to self-identify. This is a right that you get from the creator of nature. You have a right to self-identify, people, meaning you can choose to identify yourself as a Rastafarian and you go into Africa and you call that your motherland. You can choose to identify yourself as a Martian and you say, yeah, go back to Mars and that is your place. Yo, you have that right to choose. You know what I mean? Just like how we say, alright, we are the original, the first people. Awak. This is who we are. Awak, Indian. Not Awak, Indian meaning indigenous. No. Awak, Indian meaning when I really have no God, no deity. So when the foreign man comes, then they have to convert with, call with Christian. And then them come with Muslim, and then them come with all different things. Yet before all of these foreign labels, we were nature's people. And if we are nature's people, then we belong to the God of nature. That's who we are. That's who we are. People nowadays are focused on everything that's happening now and them totally ignore what happened to create this condition now. And when you neglect the past, you're bound to repeat it. When you neglect or reject or forget that past, you're bound to repeat it. For me, my ancestral spirit showed me, so watch out, it's that enemy is not a joker enemy. And this enemy is not human. It's not flesh and blood. This is the level where make we so unique. And this is the envy. Because when this enemy is not flesh and blood, it envy I, who is flesh and blood, but can comprehend that level same way. You know what I mean? So this enemy, when you say we are go at each other, boy, I get mad with all my brethren. I'm just cuss him out and burn him out. And my brethren probably get mad with me and then just hold me and beat me up badly. And yeah, that's not really it. It's way more than that. You get me? And in order for you, we as our people get on a level, it's a renewing of your mind. You have to really view the thing on a much higher level, put it that way. You know what I mean? For me, when I look, I see the crime and the criminality, I see the chaos that are going out there. For some reason, I just said to myself, say, watch ya, my world different. My society not have that. Even when me I look at the people them where my people, same people like me, I walk them, all of them I walk. That's all we had around here. We never mix up, we were all I walk people. Different style and tribes away, but we were I walk. But when the people lost and don't know themselves, them are gonna suffer. Yeah man. When you choose to look on all of these new disaster risk management acts and all these NIDS, national ID, all these corporate instruments, none of these things apply to the Awak Indian nation. It doesn't apply to our society. It doesn't apply to our members. It doesn't. We can choose to consent, but we choose not. Whatever presume power of attorney you guys have, we are withdraw all of those consent. We are rescind all contract. All contract. Now our fee schedule is that new contract. So when you want to do business with us, our fee schedule is initiated and we do business non-judicial process. We don't need a court for that. All we need is just a post office. That's it. And you can go ahead and ignore. But I get to understand when certain information is placed on the public record, it's there for eternity, on in perpetuity, even if the records office burned down, that information is there forever. So this is how Freeman communicate with a corporation. God, the Freeman have flesh and blood running through his vein, while the corporation do not have flesh and blood running through its vein. And when the corporation employ free people to work for them, then they are no longer free people. They become employees of that corporation, make it a master and servant relationship. It's as simple as that. If I'm your boss, you better listen to what I say, because I'm your peer. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? If the people were so afraid, they're so afraid, they're afraid to even look at the very laws that's being used to govern them, the very codes, the very regulations, the very statute. They're even afraid to look at those. But I said, I'm always optimistic. I said step by step we'll make it, irrespective of how it looks. There'll always be people like us. Yeah man, and even much greater people than us. That face the opposite direction than what the populace would be facing. It's like when the system or the government said, hey, go left, probably I would be one of those few that's going right. You know what I mean? And that is not to say, hey, we're special or hey, we want to create problem. No. If you're going to tell a man like me to go left, it makes sense for you to tell me why. You know what I mean? Why do you want me to go left? And where do you get the authority in the first place to think you can just tell me to do anything at all? Especially if I'm not committing a crime. Because laws were instated for lawbreakers. If you're a lawbreaker, then this law come into play for you. But when you're no lawbreaker, then what are we doing? Is it a hustle? Is it just about business? Is it about money? Is it about that? You just say, like said, a birth certificate account, which is a bond or birth registration form. You're mistaken if you think you can mess around. It would be fraud. You better go pay attention to those documents that are placed in your court, James. Go pay attention to those documents. Yeah, man. You'll be considered a criminal. You already demonstrate to me that you're dishonorable. Because remember, I'm no attorney. And if I place document with that office, get it file stamped, a file stamp a document with you, and that very same document I have to come and put it on the public record and then get it file stamped again. So it have two file stamp, one for like October 9th or September 9th, something like that. And the next one for the later date. But I'll look at it and I'll present these documents. This is where I find you dishonorable, bro. You're one of those coolie where things say, boy, you're high and mighty because you're a traffic court clerk. I know you're the boss in that little building, but when I'm around, I am your boss. Even the judge know that. And yet I never show off and act like, hey, you know what I mean? But now, this is how I'm going to expose all you guys. You know what I mean? Because remember, fraud, VT, all things, and I mean, I demonstrate, so what you are do as court clerk constitute fraud. Yeah, man, I mean, I indict you right now publicly. Because I'm going to indict you on paperwork where you underestimate law. That's why you underestimate the rule of law. You're like a slave master. All you want to do, you look on the slave as property, as money. Court clerk, that's how you do. You look at people as money. And you work in tandem with RM, especially RM Edwards, because the very first time I went to court, that's the little coolie lady. I said this overweight coolie lady. I not giving her that kind of pumps, I'm not giving her that kind of, I want to call it respect. I want to demonstrate that, boy, I want to deserve these things. Yeah, man, on a conduct, on a behavior for people what's in a society is atrocious. I can tell them that there's very few people I walk by and can say salute. Understand? I'm a look at a lot of resident magistrates. I look at a lot of you guys. You know what I mean? And most of them dishonorable. Half a tree, criminal court. You have a prosecutor slash court clerk. Yeah, Mr. Gibson. Yeah. think that's his name, and I really want to yap on him thing, because he seems to be a respectable man, but because I'm a club member, you know. And I remember this little judge lady. I'm not sure if that's Maddox, you know, because I don't pay attention too much to them. But this was a lady where, you know, keep on a talk about fair authorities from the Governor General, and you know what I mean? I guess she was giving me a tongue lashing, telling me not to speak, you know what I mean? And then she was speaking on my behalf. And Prosecutor Gibson was telling her, well, this man said the laws of Jamaica doesn't apply to him. You know. And she said, what? This is the judge saying, what? Not even Parliament? And the prosecutor said, not even Parliament. And the judge sit back in her chair and, you know, she was like, well, you have a right to do all these things, and, you know, to start give you a lecture and thing. Excuse me. We find her a little bit annoying, and I guess she'd have tried to be rude, but, you know, maintain my honor. And, you know, I never have a problem with her, really. True. Because I place a document on that court. I just ban the whole court. But I know them are going to ignore the document like it don't exist. Just like what the other prosecutor is doing. Now, I really, again, we're neophyte at this thing. We're new at this thing. So it's an honor and a pleasure to say we are trying, you know, express yourself on this level. And more time you lay a trap, you know, because these ancestors, them not play games. Yeah, man. When you lay a trap, you know, when you lay a trap, you're not supposed to pray, not supposed to even know a trap is being set. Yeah, man. When you lay in a trap, that prey, that predator, yeah, man, that parasite, yeah, man, that demonic entity, yeah, man, that prey, that predator, that he listen, enough to even know say a trap is being set. I work that way. And for us continue, because remember, by your omission and your commission, you'll be judged. By your action or your inaction, you'll be judged. You are the one that swore a public oath. You're the one that's bonded with insurance. You're the one that are employees of the state or the government. You, not I. I am no employee of the state. So you're the one that are supposed to be licensed. You know what I mean? When you say you're working for the government and a man like me say, present the authority that you get from my estate to do any kind of business. I never authorize any power of attorney to you or to no entity. When I am, my document show you say I am the Attorney General. Yeah, man, the Attorney General, in fact, not even just the attorney. Yeah, man, I'm everything. I'm the source, I'm the principal, I'm everything. You can't access that fiction account with all of those fanciness, you know what I mean? Without me being in existence. And this is how you guys take our ancestral hereditament. This is how you guys take our ancestral wealth. Yeah, man. So right in this de jure area, I create history, whether you guys know it or not. Because I am in court to defend. Yeah, man, for lack of a better word. Yeah, man, to exercise my duty, which is my right to be free. Not supposed to travel from this land across the pond, from this rock to the mainland, from this rock to other little adjoining islands. And me have to ask permission, me have to talk about, me have to apply for visa. Who am I applying for visa to? These foreign people, this foreign entity that's foreign in my land, doing business in my land. My fee schedule is on record and I'm ready to do business and I'm excited because it's like a brand new frontier. When any corporate construct, any agent from any agency want to do business with me, I'm here ready. My estate is ready. Linton O'Neill Dallas, no problem. Any derivative of that name, no problem. Let's do business. This is how we choose to go about it. No war. It's all business. It's contract. You know what I mean? When the government of Jamaica tried to escalate my case, they took me to the halfway tree court where they tried to charge me with a ratchet knife. And it was the same RMCM. It was the same resident magistrate, the same judge where honor my presence and literally bow to her in that court. Come on, and this is the same brethren that is in the court now. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that for make you know, say, yeah, I know it's you, and I have to bring you for sitting on this chair, because the spirit where you carry. However, I know you're a bar member, you're a club member, so you're subject to, you know what I mean, to that fiction crown. Now, if you subject to the crown, you know I have the crown. And notice, I don't write no letter to no Governor General explaining and expressing my situation and position. I don't write no letter to Keith Robinson, the Archbishop of our area. I don't do none of those things. I don't do none of those things. You know what I mean? We just take it on a level where me as a people, we can do business amicably, or we can just do straight business. So, court clerk, your name will be on that invoice. You get me? And witnessing the agreement to the contract is all who was present in the court, including my learned friend. Yeah, man. My learned friend, RM. Yeah, man. CM. You're a witness to that contract. Yeah, man. Policy enforcer, public servant, Martindale. You were in court and you knew you signed that document initiating a contract on November 30, 2019. So you see, we have evidence of these facts. We have certified copy of these facts. And it's just step by step. Nothing to who how about. You know what I mean? And again, because I'm not a bar member attorney nor a club member, I'm not subjected to conform to your court rules or your court standard. It doesn't apply to me. Your court rules where you have to dress up and listen. This is just me accommodating and being, you know what I mean, what I would call respectful. But when you guys do not return that favor, then fear again. You're just, in dishonor. That's it. So when the court clerk, because his routine is functioning with unclean hands, they're doing business as usual because everybody done. And when them say them are holy, you get me, especially them Trinidadian coolier, when I come from Boya, when I originate in this hemisphere. But listen, that time is coming. Don't watch the political atmosphere. You get me? That political environment is just a show. Come on. The ancestors arise up in us some people here. You get me? And when you see the criminality I get like that, see a lot of them I forget wipe out when I proper. It's natural. It's nature. It not surprise me. It's just sad because we don't forget to this degenerating state. That's what make it sad. Yeah, man. So it's not about embarrassing anyone. It's about publishing my knowledge. That's all it is. It's about setting my record clear. And I advise this court, you better check that public record. I mean, I think it's, I don't even want to call the wrong public record number. But you have all those documents. Go look on the public record for the Superior Court of Record document. That's a very important document you guys got notice of. It's in your boss's office. Because I don't deal with just you little agents. I make sure I go way above your guys' head before I even come into contact with you little agents. You guys are a problem. You can be problematic. So when I shake up your bosses, then they will cannibalize you. But again, I'm always trying to protect my police officers, irrespective of what it is. Listen, them in the same boat as us. Understand? Them just want to work, so them go to work and educate them properly. So you would love for me to sue those three officers and get them jam up, or even because the detective sergeant placed his name on summons, not knowing what he was getting into, even though I warned him. You think I'm going to try to sue or put a lien on these guys? No, I'll put a lien on the court clerk property, on his name that he gave me as James. Is when I'm in court and I request the name from the judge and all party of interest, which is the court clerk and the prosecutor. Don't tell me about these regular police officers. You know what I mean? If I mess around and these guys lose their job, then tell me now how I think them family are gonna feel and survive. We can't be so selfish. But a guy like the court clerk, he's a rich guy. These guys are coolie. Them come from one of them family that where them probably have estate and trust. These guys have been raping or estate for a very long time. I guarantee him get this job from one of him family members. You know what I mean? And you would probably say even police officers looking like him, they are probably related to him. I'm telling you. These are what we call colonizers. You know what I mean? But as we go along step by step. It's been a while since I get on this thing and just a yippee up like I am, so you have to forgive that. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing I read from. It's just, it's just one of them flow there, easy flow. So, salute, salute, give thanks, gratitude for your presence. Nam yo ho and get yo. Nam Yoho Rengekyo. Nam Yoho Rengekyo. Give thanks and praise to the mystic law of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature. Guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise.